Oh, do I have this in... Yeah, but I think Super Game Boy mode is fine, because I don't think this has proper, like, Game Boy Color integration as such, right? It'll just look like this at best. Also, I'm going to turn down that volume a little bit on this end, because... Hey, yeah, Game Boy game. It's effing loud. Does it? Because I'm like, this looks fine, but... It is a little bit different, so... hold up a sec. I'm gonna go and swap that over to our other, piece of hardware here. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, you all found out that I'm using an emulator. Okay, yeah, that looks significantly more accurate. It's just that my memory of this is not, incredible. I mean, the rest of them look fine, but I think I just am used to the idea of like, oh hey, it's a Game Boy game, it doesn't have a whole lot of colors. Anyway, Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy, any of the models really, but in this case, we're on the color. Ah, yes, here's our alphabet here, is all these wide-width characters that don't match up with the half-width that you see for, Pokemon names, strangely enough. Yeah, and, we kind of just look like a regular Pokemon kid. But this time, we could be the other butts. We could be from like FF5 butts. Hey, how have there not been any water-type gym leaders named Gilbert yet? Are they falling down on the job? And by are they, I mean, of course they are. But for other reasons. So, yeah, you mentioned that, like, semi-recently. I forget exactly when, but I know you mentioned it. So, since the bit here is that we are replacing our weekly magic, I made a joke about how it was something like, oh yeah, our F&M guy got stuck in a wall because of what happened last week. We are naming ourselves after a magic character. And also, like, a resident of Ore, probably. The legendary Pokemon cards, the extremely rare and powerful cards held by Pokemon trading card games' greatest players. The Grandmasters are searching for one to inherit the legend. Well, they gotta have some sort of, like, Pokemon-style plot to go with this. As opposed to this being, well, I mean, I guess this is kind of, like, as close as you're gonna get to a world where duels, hash out similar to those. Oh, yeah, I mean, they're kind of a little bit gimmicky. And not good, if I recall correctly. But, it's been a minute. I just know that there are better options. And in fact, I think most of the cards for legendary Pokemon are kind of butt in this game anyway. With the exception of, like, a certain infamous promo Mewtwo that there are 2 different versions of in this game. And they're allowed to do that because the rules of deck building in Pokemon TCG are a little bit funny. Anyway, I played a Pokemon TCG once before, and I assume that most of you have before as well. If not, then oh well. Read this tutorial. And, enjoy, I guess. Is there something wrong with it? I'd have to take a closer look. I'll have to... Because also, it could look fine in my emulator window and be doing something funky on the reproduction over on the other program here. So we're starting off with a pretty simple water deck here. You want to start off with your Goldeen, and put this thing in the background. Staryu looking a little bit less colorful than the IRL one, but what can you do? Well, yeah, but I mean, right now we haven't had access to an options menu, so yeah. Also, coins in this game are sort of a mechanical timing thing a little bit. That you can... If you know how to do it. And I don't remember exactly, like, the timing for it, so you're not going to see me do this a whole lot until probably much later, if at all. You can basically manipulate the coin tosses with good timing in order to confirm heads, which is very helpful for... this, because there's a lot of things that require coin tosses because of some reason. Because Creatures Inc. or whatever group section decided, hey, we're gonna do this. Really like their coin tosses. Anyway, we drew ourselves another energy, which may be like all we have in this pile. Yeah, keep the water... I mean, we have enough that we could probably get away with not doing that, but hey. Nothing else to do here. So we just go in for Waterfall, because we go for as much damage as we can. Plus, it doesn't have additional costs, so... hey. And he's playing his rat. I mean, I don't think it's necessary to select the lower power attack. So I don't know why they tell you to do that. Granted, there also aren't, like, things you can use out of your hand to interrupt it and affect that, so... Because sure, there's Defender and those type of things. But... with that, you would actually know that that's coming. And yeah, as you can see here is Rattata and Eradicate. They are a bit more glass cannon-y kind of Pokemon. Which kind of fits what they were going for in the game. In this early era, you don't have a whole lot of Pokemon who do attacks that are worth 20 damage off of a single energy. Whereas Rattata and Eradicate have that built in, but they also have very low HP. Oh no, our fish. No. Ooh. Oh well. Okay, yeah, select button to read our stuff. Hey, good, they do have a real purpose for the select button in this. Buddy, I think you're assuming that we will draw that Starmie. We might not. Although, yeah, he actually remembered to retreat, so... we will probably want that evolution when it ever shows up. That's the wrong one. Oh, well. Obviously, they gotta show us how to use trainer cards and stuff, so... they gotta pad this out a little bit. There we go. Yep, enough goofing around here. Just go straight for this. And this is where they teach us a little bit about status effects, or at least about paralysis. Which operates significantly more like a sleep or a freeze would in the regular games, except much shorter. And yes, in most of these duels, there are going to be quite a few less than 6 prize cards for every opponent, which means that it's not like a long slugfest most of the time. You can see that was we've only been on this for like 15 minutes or so. On the other hand, this does mean that you can't just keep tanking losses with not useful Pokemon. But hey. Let's hand the doc some of our trunk here, and now we get to sort of choose a starter. And strategy is a little bit different for this particular game compared to the regular Pokemon game. In fact, I cannot recall if there's actually a gym that's weak to grass. Gym. In this game, they're called clubs. Actually, I think there is like a dirt one, but water is not usually weak to grass Pokemon in this game. Usually water has a weakness to lightning energy. So Bulbasaur does not become the inherent easy mode, but I don't think any of them really are. I think that most of them are kind of like mixed in terms of their effectiveness. So all of these are about like even-handed. One of the more common strategies that you see in this era is people relying on very specific Pokemon that have no evolutions. So a lot of the classic normal types, Snorlax I think was pretty good in this game. Scyther, I think, is the one that's usually sort of perceived as being, like, the absolute king of the roost. For its just good stats and the fact that it can abuse double colorless energy very well. The one that I like quite a bit is the Fossil Edition of Magmar, because it has extremely annoying attacks. The amount of evolved Pokemon that are, like, as high grade as they would be later is somewhat reduced. But that doesn't mean, for example, that we cannot still eventually try to build a combo deck based on Aerodactyl for, like, control purposes. Muck is kind of similar for that purpose, but, that Chips Challenge emote, thank you, Roundy. How's it going, everybody? We're gonna take the Bulbasaur deck. The Bulbasaurus here. And what's our pile of stuff? 30 cards! Wow, that's very, very variable. Okay, yeah, select button to open our menu, which is very strange, but hey. Let's take a look at what we end up to start with here. We get our usual Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur line here. Venusaur having energy trans. Easy jokes, anyway. Yeah, I know the distributions in these cards are not really the greatest or anything. And the flower on Venusaur's back in this art always looks kind of lumpy. It just looks like it's wearing a big hat on its back. As often as you like, you may move your green energies around. And Solar Beam is just a 60 damage nuke. Pretty cool ability, though, so can't complain about that too much. Meanwhile, Caterpie's String Shot is, like, way better than it is in the real game. The regular game. Metapod's Harden has been replaced with Stiffen, which is almost funnier. And Stun Spore, for reasons. Nidoran female can do Fury Swipes if you want to flip coins, you maniac. And can go find either of those Nidorans to put them on the bench. And here's Nidoran Male, which is significantly more the gambler's option. If for some reason you like gambling, you can use this thing. And then it has better evolutions, I think. Maybe they changed it, that'd be weird, but... Yeah, Nidorino's double kick can do some good damage, and then Horn Drill is just a big nuke. Ooh, this is the Game Boy exclusive Tangela, huh? And it has a plurality of statuses. There's nothing they could do with this that they couldn't do in the IRL game. They tend to make the Game Boy exclusive cards a little bit more unusual in this game. To be fair, I think most TCG sims tend to be like, hey, we can do some more interesting stuff with these cards, why not? And then over here we have Flareon, which wow, they really are packing us with 3 classes of major energy here, huh? I'm really glad for that. But we've also got some more water types here. Seal. A Pokemon that unfortunately never really gets its due. Same with Dugong. On the other hand, Aurora Beam doing 50 damage for 3 energy on a stage 1 feels like a bit of a nuke. And here's Krabby. Krabby can go search for more crabs. Crab people. And Iron Grip. Kingler! Hey! I love this guy, usually. He's not quite as crazy as he is in-game, but hey. Kingler is still pretty alright. He's cool in my book. Berserkle, Bean, Sea King, we've seen these before. Vaporeon, and look at how they got all those little sparklies just kind of drawn into the background of the artwork there. Remember that these are based very heavily on the Japanese sets, where they only had the foil versions of these rares at first. Has the same quick attack as Flareon, but also has a water gun attack that starts at 30 damage, and you can attach some extra energy to make it do more damage, which is nice if you're hitting a point where you have way more energy than you possibly need. And then over here we got Jigglypuff, which can put the enemy to sleep and be slightly annoying. Meowth. Ooh, yes, here it is. This is one of the ones that I remember. They actually packed a real cardboard version of this in with the game, but I think they changed the card text a little bit so that way Cat Punch could be used a little bit more readily in IRL. You can see 20 damage chosen at random. Usually you have to have some sort of interesting mechanic for that, but also, I mean, it's a good Meowth. It's cute. Here's Kangaskhan. You can just draw your card for 1 energy. Nice. But then I saw a Florges card that was released in, like, the XY era, I think. And it has an attack that lets you draw 3 cards for 0 energy, but of course it's a Stage 2 Pokemon. They really did actually eventually make evolution cards kind of a little bit more worth it. Its last attack is Comet Punch. Takes a lot of energy, but oh, it can hit like a truck. And lastly, of course, we need to have an Eevee for this. To go with our Eeveelutions. They're only kind of okay, but hey. We get Professor Oak. Nice. Very powerful card if your hand is empty. And over here we got Bill, which doesn't go in this deck for some reason. Bill! 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 He's real strong. I'm gonna probably dump something else for Bill. I don't know if I need 2 full heals, but hey. And then switch so we can retreat without paying a cost. Kind of nice. Pokeball. Yep, go and search for a Pokemon if you win the coin flip. Thanks. Plus Power, also known as X Attack in the regular games in English. You do an extra 10 damage with one of your next attacks. Kind of helpful to push things a little bit. Defender is something that lasts again for 1 turn. Blocks 20 damage from the next attack. I think it's kind of good. I think I prefer that to actual healing items, but that depends on... Not everybody's necessarily going to agree with that. This isn't in our deck, but it can force a switch of one of your opponent's Pokemon. Gust of Wind is one of those cards that is powerful enough that later reprints use different names and have other stipulations on them. Since it can really cause some serious problems to disrupt your opponents. But also, I question how many people were paying great attention to that back in the day, because realistically, most of Pokemon was... most of the Pokemon TCG was just sold on the backs of, hey, people like this game, right? Let's make something that we can use to sell it to people more. Full Heal does exactly what you think it does. It removes the status effect. And Revive, yeah, basically this does kind of what you would expect it to based on the item in-game, is that it puts a basic from your discard onto the bench, and you put enough damage counters on it to leave it at half HP. Slightly crusty, but hey. And getting out of the menu is a little bit crusty. Yeah, honestly, it's probably not. It's probably going to get dumped fairly quickly, too. Okay, actually, that one's the start button, I guess. Save, and we can take in some more duels over here. I am going to take a little bit more of an exploration around the map first, and let's see what the deal is. Because we've got the Fighting Club, the Lightning Club, the Rock Club, 2 Question Marks House, the Challenge Hall, and Pokemon Dome, which appears to be where we came from, but this is where we go at the end of the game. Challenge Hall occasionally runs events. The Psychic Club, the Science Club. That's not really very indicative, but I think the idea is supposed to be that they use a lot more like Psychic and Poison type Pokemon. In this era, I believe Poison types were mostly Grass Energy based, if I recall correctly. Later on, they would eventually become Psychic Energy and Dark Energy based. The latter, obviously, not until they actually introduced Dark Energy, but that was not too deep into the game's lifespan, so... The concept of introducing a color of a sort into a trading card game after it's already started its life is so weird. Especially because of all the catch-up you have to play there. So yeah, we're going to go and investigate the Rock Club real quick, and we're going to have this guy, this Ronald guy here. Does this guy know who we are? Yeah, he's sort of a Gary Oak-ish, you know, aggressive style rival here. That's not really true, because there aren't stats here to affect anything like that. Receptionist. Let's just take a look around here and see what amenities they have here. We got this gift center. We can't really do anything with that. Nor this, because, well, blinking and stuff a little bit crunchy. Let's see if we can deal with this guy. Just right off the bat. Probably should be a little bit of one of those things that I approach with a little more care, but hey. If it's a little blurry, I can't necessarily speak on how bright it is, but the blur might be from the funky scaling between where the emulator is set resolution-wise versus how it appears on OBS, because I assume that doesn't happen in a very nice linear way. Okay, yeah, we can open with this. And it's not going to be my favorite thing to play or anything, but hey. Well, we're on the play, so that's excellent. And sure, I'll play this Caterpie. Start off with this, and I'm not going to Professor Oak yet. I'm going to use the Fury Swipes. And get absolutely nothing. Classic. That's the old multi-hit moves for you. Even in the main game, you get absolutely no work done at any time. So I will actually go ahead and call for family and get to view my entire deck for some reason. Yeah, slightly funky way of handling things. In order to drop our Nidoran male on the bench. And then we can start progressing towards upgrading that Nidorino. Oh, fine. Fine. I want Professor Oak to go look for some actual cards here. Oh. Those really are kind of not my actual cards. Let's double check. Okay, we only need 2 grass energy on that in the end, so... I guess that's kind of fine. I don't remember if this guy's Onyx does anything else with its attacks. So let's take a look here. Okay, yeah, it has Harden, which can allow it to block damage less than 30. Hooray, we did something! Wow, I'm doing real bad at these coin flips, but like I said, I don't really know a ton about actually doing that, so yeah. As I continue to just draw nothing here. Okay, see, that worked better, but I also mashed the button really fast, so that might have helped. Basically, started almost on the head side there. Yep. There we go. That's better. This is totally how it works in actual Pokemon. And we picked up a water energy. Oh, man. The distribution of energy in this deck is shit. Like, oh boy. I wasn't paying great attention to how bad it is, but it's much worse than I thought. Which in its own right is kind of incredible, because... of the usual reasons. And he healed his Snorlax. That's... slightly unfortunate. I don't remember what the Snorlax does. I think it has... more importantly, we drew one of these. I have to remember that I don't have to discard at end of turn, so... yeah, okay, it's 40... it's 4 energy, pardon me. I like how this also has the can't be affected, can't be used if it has a special condition clause. For a Pokemon power that prevents it from being affected by special conditions. That's very funny. Yeah, see, we're getting there when we mash the button well enough. And he's not playing more energy. Yes, good. Okay, we are all set over there. So we have a backup in case our Nidoran female dies, which it no doubt will. I know how this goes. Kind of. There's also no hand limit in this game, which I forgot about, so you'll definitely see me just, like, ignoring the idea of having to even think about that. And oh no, our Nidoran female died anyway. But, oh no, she was paralyzed. That won't have an effect. However, this horn drill is going to do some serious business. Get that thing out of here. So at this point, I'm pretty sure he's just got all rock types in his setup here. So this is just a shooting gallery, basically. Because they're all going to be weak to grass, and we do 50 damage base with our thing, so none of their HP is going to 100 or higher. He's not playing 3-stage rock types. I don't even think the Golem card that's in this has that good of an HP stat, so... In fact, Pokemon with over 100 HP in this were pretty rare. So, hey, we turned it around. We pulled all our prizes. That was a little bit riskier than I wanted it to be, but I should probably go and pick up some energy cards, it's correct. But we can also scout a little bit of what this guy gets and find some more cards that are hopefully a little bit interesting here. What's our Kabutops do? God, 60 HP for a Stage 2 Pokemon? Get the fuck out of here. I'm not even reading the rest of that. That's shit. Oh boy. Yeah, fossil Pokemon in this game are kind of crippled as a strategy by virtue of the fact that, first of all fossil Pokemon evolve from a single card called Mysterious Fossil, which is a trainer card that acts as a benched Pokemon with only 10 HP. It's kind of dumb. I don't like how they did the fossil mechanics in this, but I understand that the idea is supposed to be like, oh, well, it's because of the fact that you have to revive the fossils in... Yes, but also it sucks. So you end up with Kabutops, who's over there with the stats of a Stage 1 Pokemon as a Stage 2, and it's a effing rare. So it actually makes the pulls kind of suck a little bit. Anyway, we're going to take a look at this Primeape. That's some much better looking stat lines. He's got the Fury Swipes for 20 damage a hit. And Tantrum. It's basically a little bit Thrash-ish in a way, because if you fail a coin flip, you get confused. Mr. Fuji lets you shuffle a Pokemon and cards attached to it into your deck. That's pretty helpful. It's a good way to save something that's getting trashed by bench attacks. And over here is Rhydon. Well, there's a Pokemon with 100 HP. And fittingly, it has disgustingly expensive attacks. And of course, Rhydon's Ram attack also has some big recoil. Here's a slightly more fun Meowth on some level, a little bit more reliable anyway. You can flip a coin to get some cards when you draw. When you do attacks, pardon me. Blah, blah. It's still a 2-energy attack, though, so you really want your double colorless on that. And then you feel like you've got to actually invest in it, so... Vulpix with a Confuse Ray that actually does damage. That's messed up. The super low tiers of Gen 1 are getting a little bit disgusted looking at that. And here's Pikachu! Yeah, this will be our first bench hitter. This is the jungle printing of Pikachu. Deals 20 damage to the main target, and then you can put an additional damage counter on one random well, not randomly selected, but you know what I'm saying, on their bench. This style of Pokemon is a common thing for the electric type in this era, and it's generally kind of good. Execute is oriented around 2 types of energy, a bit rare for this era, and even nowadays. And it's got Hypnosis, which does what you think it does, and Leech Seed, which we saw this on the Bulbasaur. Of course, that's still a spread of 3 energy across 2 types that you want to be able to use both of its attacks, so... Ugh. Shelter! Shelter doesn't do any damage. You get your 50% chance of confusion with Supersonic, also known as your opponent will always get it. And Hide in Shell, so you can... I guess that'd be the equivalent of Withdraw. And that protects you from damage for a turn, so that's neat. Drowsy. We didn't see what this Drowsy does. But it's got the same Confuse Ray attack as Bulbasaur and a generic 1 energy for 10 damage attack. And we get a second booster from winning that fight, and it's another... Ooh, I'm gonna get a little bit sour from that. But I do see a DCE, so we got the real big pull here. The GB Flareon has Bite, 3 energy, 30 damage, whatever. 3 energy, however, can also get you Rage, which can do significantly more. Kind of feels a little bit like Gen 1 Flareon in general, actually. All that normal damage. And then here's Jolteon. Jolteon with Double Kick and Stun Needle. 30 damage and a chance to paralyze. Yeah, actually, I think I like that a little bit more. Pardon my clonking there, than I like a lot of the other evolutions that we've been gifted. And we get ourselves double colorless energy. This does exactly what you think it does. It's a non-basic energy card that provides 2 colorless energy. So if you have anything that's just 2 stars, that'll cover it for you. Like this Paris' Scratch attack. But wouldn't you rather have the 2 grass energy for Spore? Or better yet, use a different and probably better Pokemon? We didn't get to read this dude's Rhyhorn card. And its first attack is Leer, which is a sort of intimidation thing if you succeed. And then Horn attack for, you know, kind of generic. Hey, look, here's the Mysterious Fossil. Play Mysterious Fossil as if it were a basic Pokemon. While in play, Mysterious Fossil counts as a Pokemon instead of a trainer card. Mysterious Fossil has no attacks, can't retreat, and can't be asleep, confused, or paralyzed, or poisoned. If Mysterious Fossil is knocked out, it doesn't count as a knocked out Pokemon, discard it anyway. At any time during your turn before you attack, you may discard Mysterious Fossil from play. Use Game Boy Pokemon Power menu to do this. Well, thank you for informing me of how to do that. So, Mysterious Fossil is a card that, like I said, it makes a lot of the fossil Pokemon seem real bad. But you can do some, like, interesting plays of just sort of using it like a substitute doll a little bit. Oh, hey, speaking of fossil Pokemon that are not necessarily made good, here's Ammonite. It's got some very basic Pokemon-ass stats. But it has the Pokemon Power Clairvoyance, so you can read your opponent's hand. I don't think that's a very Ammonite thing to do, but okay, why not? Can't complain. And Mankey! Mankey's also got a special power that may make you think twice about evolving it, but in exchange, if you evolve it, it becomes a hell of a lot better. However, Peak. Once during your turn before you attack, you may look at one of the following: the top card of either player's deck, a random card from your opponent's hand, or one of either player's prizes. Can't be used while status. So, that's kind of handy. Oh. Wrong. Incorrect. But we'll go here, and we can remove that. And I will instead put in the level 24 Jolteon. I don't think that's going to be super good in this particular location. But it does mean that at least fairly soon we'll be able to cut some of our energy cards here that are not as good. Oh yeah, did I forget? Yeah, I did forget to save the change that would give me a bill here, so take that out. Yeah, the controls for this menu are a little bit funky, so... if I screw things up a little bit, that happens. Chap. What a guy. Oh yeah, don't forget to run. It's just that the walking pace actually feels kind of okay. Alright, what's up with you, Ishihara? What's your deal? You're more interested in trading, I guess. He's a collector. I see. Well, let's head back to Mason Labs and go get into some duels for purposes of getting ourselves some energy here. Because, yeah, I forget if... wait, did I go into the tutorial again? I wanted to go into a regular game, but oops. Well, that's fine. Maybe we'll still get stuff from this. I doubt it, but hey. It's basically going to be on the same script, but without the text. I mean, nice of them to give you a refresher, I suppose, but... and plus, it's also going to be a lot faster because we have the message speed jacked up. And you can see them mashing pretty severely in a couple of places here, but hey, this'll work out anyway. Brings out his weird rat. One thing that is kind of a pain in the butt about a lot of this era of card game stuff, just to confirm and reiterate, I suppose, is that, yeah, a lot of the time they just really don't give you free access to the like basic lands and similar ideas, in this case basic energy. I don't really like that a ton, but hey, whatever. That's just how they designed the games, I suppose. But we do still get packs for this, which is great, because... well, we got a pack anyway. We got a good amount of energy there. Got the auto deck. Got the auto deck machines here, I see. We'll go up against a water and fighting deck. I keep mashing into it automatically being positioned at no. Which is a little bit unusual for a Pokemon game. But let's see what AA Ron has to say here. As we load up into a whole bunch of cards that are just, like, not what we need, really. Play that, I suppose. Seal and Krabby. Alright, first of all, use the Pokeball. Excellent. And go find ourselves an Eevee, I suppose. Play that. We can't use the Vaporeon just yet, so... Honestly, I'm not sure why I did any of that, but I guess I just felt like I gotta use the card before I... Professor Oak. To go try to dig for actual energy cards, and there we go. Thank goodness. And we'll use a plus power to try to go for some extra damage here. Not as good as we could have done, but hey. We've just got to land one coin flip correctly this turn. And we'll be good to go. Oh. It's a pretty good set of noises. Yeah, let's bill a little bit here. Yeah, let's start fueling up that seal. Excellent. And he's using Energy Search, which is a really good card. Does exactly what it sounds like it does. Yeah, see, this is working out pretty good for our way of dealing with this. Unfortunately, he did evolve his Starmie. Well, I didn't say it was perfect, so... We're gonna send Kangaskhan out there, as we're kind of still waiting to actually pull our Dugong that'll let our Seal become very good. So I guess we'll just go and fetch some more cards. As I'm hoping that the Dugong isn't in the prizes pool. That would be kind of bad. Okay, good. I do have one of those. So that way next turn I can actually start doing some damage. But hey, I don't even have to use it yet. Excellent. Catch the defender, and Comet Punch time. That's still pretty good. Hey, whole lot of nothing happening there. Yes, good. Finally, and I need to double check that I have the right amount of... Well, technically, I could go for one more for Ice Beam, but that just kind of seems like a waste of resources because we're going for sheer damage here. Wow! Okay, good fucking work, me. That's because I was starting off on a little bit wrong-footed, I guess. Get a revive that is not very helpful. So we can start doing that. Yeah, see, Kangaskhan's getting some work done. And lastly, our fella has just a Poliwag out here, so I probably don't even have to do any more setup, because... Yeah, definitely not. I was looking a little bit ugly for a bit here, but I think that's just because our deck is still kind of in the you just started out phase. And only one grass energy there. That's great. That's the exact sort of numbers that we're looking for, boss. I tell you what. Vaporeon is not really very impressive, but I don't have a whole lot that I could swap it out with right now. Not without, like, severely meddling with what my deck is actually good at. See, all these guys just want a lot of fighting energy, don't they? So there's nobody for me to go, yeah, I only want to have one energy type in the deck. Not yet, anyway. So this will do for the moment, and we'll go and try to get some actual cards. Let's take a look at what's going on in here. Other than there's a bunch of rocks. That's the leader. We can already duel him, shockingly, but we'll deal with him later. For now, we're gonna challenge this nerd. This is like our third match in a row starting with Professor Oak. It's kind of funny, I feel like. Ah, we got hit by the funny question mark thing. Alright, what do you do? I have to flip a coin to... Ah, yeah, let me get RNG gated twice on this same Pokemon. Yes, perfect. And we pick up our boss monster, and... Let's double check. You need 3 energy to actually be played, so... That's not the greatest, but... Ah, darn it. What did he just play? He just played something I was too busy mashing through. Oh, it was a Hitmonchan. Alright, let's take our attempted 25% chance here. And, oh, it was not worth even trying. Because our Nidoran is knocked out, and now the Nidorino that we searched for is completely worthless. And that Dugong is doing about as much work. So I'm just gonna Professor Oak. And probably end up picking up, like, all the useful things afterwards. They're just like, hey, remember all this stuff you were saying wasn't gonna help you? We'll put down the Kangaskhan. Unfortunately, Kangaskhan is really bad here because it's weak to fighting. Which counts rock type for some reason. Yeah, and now I'm having a problem of no energy in my hand. Then again, I had too much when I did the thing earlier, so I guess that kind of scans. Can I just press a button and scoop? Because I feel like I need it at this point. Unless I get some really extreme luck here for a little bit. Which won't happen, but hey. Yeah, there's not even a point in using that defender, because it'll just be like, well... I still do more damage than that, so... That's real good. Oh, one of those... Okay, holding the right stick on my controller is a fast forward. Interesting. Yeah, he did that because, obviously... I just got completely pantsed by my bad luck here. Like, I had no shot at this. Go try out this guy. This guy. It's words. Bothers me. Oh, hey, look, it's another Professor Oak to start the... And no energy to start with. Good. I don't even care. I'm just slamming all that shit in the graveyard. I'm dumping the Venusaur, but at this point it's like, well, I can't play, you know? And what's his deal? His Ponyta has an attack that it can use for 0 energy against my grass types, so I have no real recourse to use this thing. I'm just so happy about this. Okay, what's your deal, again, energy cost-wise? Like, truth be told, we're just in a state of... nothing we do is going to be useful here. Alright, let's do this for the possibility of deck thinning. I'm not even here to look for anything good. I mean, I guess I can pick that up, just in the off chance that it actually gets a chance to be usable. Just in case I happen to draw Nidorino. This is not a great start. The other guy who is off in the lobby is probably easier. And by probably, I mean a lot. Now, on the other hand here, the opponent doesn't resist grass. So we can just sit here and get fucked by the RNG constantly. In order to not land Horn Hazard here. Yes, I am being annoying and pronouncing hazard wrong on purpose, but... I digress, and just not draw into anything that's even remotely playable here. Play the grass energy on that thing. I have no ability to attack with Dugong, because I haven't drawn enough water energy. But let me tell you, if one of them actually shows... Oh, fuck you, game. Good timing for that! When it doesn't matter anymore. Honestly, there's not even a point to me, like, even trying with this. Just... whatever. I got bad luck there. That's absolutely nothing I had that was useful to me. Alright, let's go beat this guy up again here. Yeah, he's opening with the old big boy Snorlax there. So we just do what we do best. Flip coins and hope. Let me just go through here and see. Yeah, I'll pick up the Nidorino. call for family to go find the Nidoran male. It's really weird how it's just like, it lets you view your entire deck order. I mean, it's interesting, but... Huh. Truly a bizarre approach for this type of game. Evolve, and hand that over. Alright, let's go. That. Let's take a look at his area real quick. He's got this golem. It has... Oh, it has self-destruct as an attack. That's quite interesting. So I think, to be honest with you, we want to try and not just switch to Nidorino to go for easy kills, because we want to try to have that come out naturally to put the momentum into our favor. Oh boy. Would you... Boy, I'm doing that in a real stupid way, to be fair, but hey. Alright, and here he does an avalanche. So we're able to pull Nidorino up to the front, and we can just hit him with the horn drill, which should be a one-shot. Yeah! Yeah, now we just turn into the pain conveyor belt here. I think we had like 4 energy cards in our prizes, didn't we? And with not very many in our deck, that does become a bit of a problem. Aerodactyl. So Aerodactyl is the really good fossil Pokemon out of this era. The Pokemon Power Prehistoric Power, which prevents other evolution cards from being played. And okay, you only have 60 HP and a 3 energy, 30 damage attack, but how much more do you really need when you're able to shut down that much of the game? And this is an era where they really wanted you to play evolution cards because, yeah. And here's Tauros. Tauros can Stomp, which is the same as Quick Attack for some reason, and Rampage. It's the Rage effect that Flareon had, but you have a chance of confusing yourself. So Tauros, unfortunately, not super great in this era. It's kind of sad. Voltorb basically doesn't do anything. That's our third Kabutops from this dude's booster pack. So you're okay, buddy. You have, like, nothing in your entire collection. It's kind of pathetic, actually. Alright, let's try to give this guy more of a swirly here. Play that, and... play that. It is not time to Professor Oak, then. Let's get some more bad luck. This, like, basically never works in my favor. Dang. That is also yet to work, so that's fun. Perfect draw, by the way. Absolutely fantastic. This guy's life is fucking over. Horn Drill doing what it usually does when you feed it a Pokemon in X accuracy. Oh yeah, fat lot of good that's gonna do you, buddy. Let's go ahead and Professor Oak for, truth be told, no good reason. I just kind of felt like doing it. And his rock is dead. Thank you very much for playing. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, because I don't want aspirants on my new door. Ooh, Big Zam. This one is a fun Pokemon power. You can move your damage counters around your Pokemon as long as you don't kill any of them. It's pretty neat. They do try to give you a lot of reasons to run Psychic type in this era, I'll tell you that much. I don't know how successful all of them are, but hey. There we get another one of these Flareons. Which isn't quite as good as the Jolteon, but hey. We'll take it for a little bit more variety. Electrode. This is the Jungle Electrode. Interestingly, the base set Electrode, which could infamously knock itself out to turn into 2 energy of any one type, is not in this version of the game because they couldn't figure out how to program it at the time. It was just too complicated. It's one of the very few cards that's like that in this in this game, of the, like, 3 that there are. 3 sets that there are, rather. And Electrode's Chain Lightning, which checks their type. If it's not colorless, it deals 10 damage to every benched Pokemon that shares a type with that target. That's neat. Flareon, Gloom. You got Poison Powder, you got Foul Odor, which confuses yourself and the defending Pokemon. Sure. Cloyster! Clamp. Flip a coin if heads the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Tails' attack does nothing. That's a bit of a gamble. And Spike Cannon, it's just kind of another double kick sort of mechanic. Like, look at how much gambling is in this game. Jeez. Kabuto! Yet another Stage 1 with basic Pokemon stats. Whenever an attack does damage to Kabuto after applying weakness and resistance, that attack only does half the damage, rounded down to the nearest 10. For Kabuto armor. That's kind of neat. That at least sort of explains its low HP. Sort of, technically. I guess. Not really, but hey. You do you. Yeah, that Vaporeon can go, as we've kind of established earlier. That thing is more useful. Move Krabby. I'd rather just start setting up more energy here. That... have good trainer cards. I mean, we've got some that are kind of useful. The potion wouldn't be a bad idea. 2 potions, rather. Because I'm starting to feel like we could use the healing. At least once in a while. Our ratios aren't incredible, but we'll get into better shape eventually, I'm sure. Or we won't. Either way. Alright, we'll lead off with Nidoran Male and put that into our bench. And we're on the not on the play here. I'd say on the draw, but that's not really the case, because that's not how this works. Get that Nidorino. Hey, we actually landed it this time. Incredible. That almost never happens. There's that Jolteon. Neat. They're on a defender. And I will play the Jolteon on our Eevee, even though the odds of that mattering are quite low. Let's do it anyway. I don't think that's really very useful in this club, because I would assume all these dudes are resistant to electric, but I could be wrong. Evolve. I'm gonna actually take a look. Yeah, this thing doesn't resist electric, which is, you know, extremely Onyx move there. Meanwhile, Cubone does. Damn it. Screwed that up. But that's okay, this is over now. This guy is donezo. Like, he doesn't stand a chance. Never mind, I got absolutely screwed by the RNG there. Oh, there's a double colorless. That's neat. Oh, damn it. I think I kind of need the paralysis. Or I need him to be unlucky. Really, man? I am having a rough go at it now. You're weak to fighting, aren't you? Yep. So, to be honest with you, that was a complete misplay on my part. There's no real reason for me to even try buffing that thing anymore, because, yeah. I was clearly not in my right state of mind when I was doing that. I think I was just excited because it looked like a good card. And this guy has gotten 6 fucking heads in a row with his shit anyway, so, like, dude. Come on. Are you kidding me? You're not kidding me with these draws. Disgusting, man. Ugh. I swear, if you pull off another... I was gonna say, if you pull off another double heads here, I'm gonna be so mad. But thankfully he did nothing. At all. So, that's good. Oh boy, and Eevee. Time for me to misplay this one again. As well. Do that. Check my play area. Yeah, I'm gonna enter gambling mode here. Yes! Perfect! I didn't even have to wait until I evolved it. That's good. Because I wouldn't have drawn an energy next turn anyway. That was close. Alright, so what's this Clefairy do? It just has Sing... and Metronome lets you copy one of their attacks. Neat. Parasect. It's got Spore, but it's... I think the other one was 2 Grass Energy, so that's fine. And Slash. So, a little bit like the most commonly seen Scyther, but not completely. Energy Removal. That is a very strong and fun card. Well, fun if you're the one using it. If you're not, well, bad times all around. And another one of these godforsaken Kabutops. We have so many of these Flareon, too. We have 5 of them out of, I think we've gotten either 6 or 8 packs of this one particular pack. Like, that's silly. I think it's 8, not 6. But still. Yeah, because we got 7 of the Meowths, so it's got to be 8 at this point. Just doing a couple little minor adjustments here and there. I don't really use the switch that much. Also, I wanted to get rid of that revive because it's not very helpful. So I'll put the Gust of Wind in, and energy removal is quite strong, so in that goes. And we really have not gotten a lot of very impressive grass types, but it feels like there should be at least the Nidorino and Nidoqueen cards in this pack. If I ever actually open anything decent from them, but that's a big if. Okay. Yeah, our other one was Meowth. I remembered it was a colorless Pokemon, but I forgot which one it was, so... It could have been the Eevee. That could have been a nice draw. It wasn't. I will, however, put energy on the Meowth. Even though I feel like we're not going to need it that much. Fuck! God damn it, what a waste of my time. Okay, wow, he's tanking up pretty hard here. Well, let's see if we can get 3 heads. We probably can't. Yeah. No good. So it didn't do anything to him, because between his Harden and his Defender... Well, at bare minimum, at least that's just flip 2 heads, as opposed to some of the other problems it could be here. And his Graveler is out of there. And he's got nothing else on the bench, thank goodness. So that's over in a heartbeat. Hell yeah, we are so glad to be done with that. Alright, Guy, can we get actual cards out of this? Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck this fucking garbage thing! Why do I... Why?! 5 of these pieces of... Sheesh. Like... Is something busted with this RNG? Another Clefairy. That's comparatively useful. Oh hey, Nidorino does actually exist in this booster. Well, okay, that's something. You get Supersonic, and you get Double Kick, which is, like, the requisite on the Nido family, for reasons. That's probably a little bit more useful than some of the things that are in here. I'm gonna subtract one of those and put in that Nidorino, I suppose. Save. And back we go over this way. Make sure that I can screw that up somehow. I actually don't feel like I can fight any of those dudes just yet. go and investigate the science club. I want to see what, per se, this is about. Oh, yeah, real helpful description. I lost. Yeah. I'm sure you did, sir. A bit different music here. We have to actually beat all of these guys in order to actually go and play against the leader here. Yep, nothing, so we redraw. Although we had plenty of energy, but hey. We could just as well end up with a hand that's like, hey, you have literally nothing in terms of energy and just one very bad starting Pokemon, which, hey, look what happened. Guy's got a coughing to start with, and that's it. Well, we did pick up another Pokemon, so... What is the deal with your coughing here, Fall Gas? It always deals a status effect. So far it's going kind of okay. We're just not really getting a lot of good cards yet to do much with our deck. We're getting a lot of instances of me getting way too many of certain cards. Like, I got 5 of that effing Kabutops card, which isn't very good. So I decided to go try playing somewhere else to see if maybe that would help us out a little bit. We get this guy evolving, and he poisoned us. What we hit? Yeah, so we're gonna time out real fast here. And we're drawing the wrong energy to be able to actually use our Tangela worth anything, so you just really take a look at that, and you know, so that way my situation can set in a little better, or worse, as the case may be. And I can't even land the paralysis flip properly. Ugh. Oh. Yeah, no, that was a match with absolutely terrible draws. So, yeah, no good there. I don't even want to count that one. I'm going to go at this again. We opened with just a Caterpie for basic Pokemon. So, that's slightly a problem. And with no other basics in hand, hey, we're doing this again. And we again get to play second. That's fun. Well, great. What's the deal with your Ekans here? Okay, it has that going on. Well, I still think it'd be worth hitting it with an energy removal in that case. Alright, forget it. We're going to Professor Oak, and we're going to get completely screwed on this, because it's going to be like, hey, you're going to find a couple of... Never mind, we got, like, another weird but very terrible hand, as I think is probably to be expected at this point. Now, all I need to do, basically, is just hope this guy doesn't draw another Pokemon or something. Like, okay, draw more energy, whatever. Yeah, where was that Tails flip earlier, but I think we'll be okay. Energize Caterpie. And not quite enough to kill the Ekans. I just need him to not play more Pokemon, and I'll be fine with that. Never mind, he'd play another Ekans. And we're dead anyway. We don't even need the coin flip. Oh. Send our Caterpie in here. Play this Eevee. Yeah, it didn't matter. That coin flip didn't matter anyway, so... I was really hoping it would be DCE in that case, but... Nope. I'm assuming this guy has a good amount of energy to play with anyway, so... That... Darn. I wanted a little bit of safety, but nope. Stop messing with that one stick, because otherwise it advances the game a little bit. Makes it fast forward slightly. However, I have problems. Let's do this, and... Unfortunate. But very funny that he played another energy on the Ekans kind of wastefully. I assume that he's trying to operate under the assumption that he will build up to playing Arbok or something, but in the current condition, it's just like, well, that's a very interesting choice of behavior there. And we will retreat for Flareon. Just go for a quick bite here. Chomp that thing and get some Pokeball. I thought it was going to be more energy. Oh, that's kind of fine, actually. Can't even say as I mind that. Because now Rage does more damage, so we can just maul this thing. And he finally seems to be out of energy, so excellent. And let's just delete this coughing, and we're done with this round. After this guy just kept drawing lifelines over and over again to be very annoying. What do we got here? We got this Victory Bell, which lets you force the opponent to switch. And you can use Acid to force them to stay in. Rapidash. This is an evolution for Ponyta, and you can see that it upgrades its other 20 damage one to a thing that has a coin flip. And Agility. If you win the coin flip, you will take nothing during the opponent's next turn from attacks. Butterfree. You'd think for a stage 2 this should be pretty good. Its HP is pretty bad, though. Whirlwind allows you to force a switch. And Mega Drain lets you recover a little bit, though, so at least that makes up for the poor HP. That's neat. Wartortle! Yeah, withdraw. If you win the flip, you don't take damage next turn. And bite for 40 damage. Not really a very interesting one, per se, but hey. Energy search. We saw this before. You search your deck for a basic energy card. Again, very useful. Good in pretty much any deck just for the deck thinning possibilities, but also much better in multicolor decks. So what's the deal with this? Flip a coin. If heads, put a basic Pokemon card chosen at random from your deck onto your bench. Okay. That's why it's a Game Boy exclusive. And expand reduces damage that you take by 10. Ghastly! This is in fact the original one. It just doesn't really look so much like it in the adaptation of the artwork here. You can put an opponent's Pokemon to sleep if you flip the coin and land heads. Discard one Psychic Energy attached to Ghastly in order to use this attack. If a Pokemon knocks out Ghastly during your opponent's next turn, knock out that Pokemon. Which is potentially pretty strong. And that's where that ability came from, that thing that plagues every single Nuzlocke ever. Randomized Nuzlocke, anyway. I've seen a bunch of those worms. Pinchy! Yeah, it just has Whirlwind, so it's just the Butterfree one, but less damaging. But you don't have to invest as hard. And our Evolution Pack 2 here, we've got a different Jolteon. Has the base EV Quick Attack. And Pin Missile, which lets us flip 4 coins for the potential for a bunch of damage. Weeping Bell. Well, we haven't seen a Bellsprout, so we can't even use this whole line yet, huh? Poison Powder, coin flip for poison, and Razor Leaf is just flat damage. Meh. It exists. Butterfree, we saw that already. Jinx! We have one of these, I just haven't looked at it. Double Slap, which is a literal 2-hitter in this case. Meditate. It deals damage that increases based on how much damage the defending Pokemon already has. That is kind of disgusting. At some level, but you do lose the progress after you defeat an enemy, so less than it looks, I guess. You saw that Sandshrew already. Squirtle. You can use Bubble, which has a chance of paralyzing the defending Pokemon, and then the withdraw is the same withdrawal we saw before. Jigglypuff, Worm, Gust of Wind, and Grass Energy. Alright, well, on paper, it's a little better than what we kept getting with the same goddamn Kabutops every time. Unfortunately, we cannot those cards yet. Which is on paper, that sounds like it might be useful. And excuse the yawning. Get our E-search going. God, we really have that many of the Meowth card. I wish we could just sort of recycle our extra cards that we don't need. I don't think there's a way to do that. Okay, this looks surprisingly usable, actually. It's not the best hand anybody's ever seen, but hey. Dang it. Yeah, I'll bet this guy does more to me somehow. Or not, wow. That's why I don't gamble. Well, one of many reasons, really, but... Let's delete that real quick. And call for family to go find the Nidorino mail that's literally right at the top of the deck. Whoops. Good enough. Although, dang. You've actually got the Nidoqueen card, huh? Pretty good. What do you do? Do something strange here. Boyfriends. It's 20 damage plus 20 more damage for each Nidoking you have in play. Yeah, good luck taking full advantage of that, but that could be pretty strong. And followed up with Mega Punch as your other. Alright, well, we finally get a chance to Bill, which we basically haven't had a chance to do the entire game almost, so... Alright, now we Professor Oak to get resupplied here. And then we'll worry more about that stuff later, I guess. But for now, let's keep doing this. What's our... is a seal. Okay. I was gonna say, I'll worry more about some of this stuff when it becomes a bit more of a concern, but I do want to read what my one Pokemon I have that is able to get a vague amount of prep work dumped into it. Shit! I did not mean to do that. For reasons that you probably understand. That took way too many of my inputs there. Hey, good, we didn't get confused. Confusion's real annoying. Like, it's something that's a pretty big problem, so I'm glad that that didn't happen. Stop! Fine. Alright, now. Game, don't be an a-hole here about this. Come on. Leave that kind of thing to me. Alright. What do you have? You have 2 Pokemon who both can die to Horn Drill immediately, so we'll Gust of Wind in order to speed this battle up by exactly 1 turn. Excellent! And we pulled a Nidoqueen. That's pretty nice. Mr. Fuji. Seen that before. Parasite. Oh, this guy's giving us the mystery packs again, isn't he? Oh. I'm about to get hit by Kabutops number 6, aren't I? Oh. Oh no, an Aerodactyl. Okay, that's fine. Dratini. It's an uncommon because I guess Dratini is not a very common Pokemon, which is true. Hey, it's our friend Exeggutor. Finally, this thing might be runnable. We get Teleport, which lets us switch it. And, more importantly, we get Big Explosion. Oh boy, I'm upset. God, I'm so happy. Flip a number of coins equal to the number of energy attached to Exeggutor. This attack does 20 damage times the number of heads. You get it because Exeggutor, of course, it would a thing that multiplies by number of heads. Anyway, who cares? That's pretty cool. Deal with this guy who is defending Rick. Presumably from Morty or something, I don't know. I don't watch anime or whatever. I hope somebody gets mad at me for for referring to Rick and Morty as anime. Even for a bit, a very obvious bit, but like... Nobody on the internet understands anything that's obvious anymore. It's not... There's no such thing. What does Zubat do? It requires 2 energy to even do anything, so... Basically, this guy's gonna have a very bad day very soon. Hey, Metapod has some actual HP. Kind of surprised by that, really. Careful about those inputs, everybody. Let's do some more of this. It's fine if we don't land the Paralyze. Ah, oh, dang. That is a protection from all effects? Yes. Gross. Darn. So we might still take a couple of damage from Drill Peck, but... Good. Oh, I literally did not look at my hand after I did that last turn, did I? That's kind of funny. Play that, pick up the water energy from somewhere. So we will want that if we were able to actually draw Dugong, but I guess that is kind of a matter of luck, isn't it? Dang. Well, our reign of terror has come to an end here. Seal, you've got some HP on you, so why don't you get in here? And he's playing the Zubat. He's attaching a whole ass double cut. Oh, that's why. Never mind. Stop laughing at him. He's got a real strategy, I swear. Can't wait to draw that Dugong right after I... In this case, draw mostly being pulling from prize pool, but hey. No, it's plus power instead. Well. That's probably fine. Telling you, this Kangaskhan is extremely good. Doing a lot of work for us. Different pack this time. is nice. Let's see what we've got here. We are opening up with a Magneton, which I don't think we have a Magnemite, so that's a fat lot of good that thing does us. Sonic Boom, it's a flat 20. And Self-Destruct. You self-destruct and you do 20 damage to each Pokemon on each player's bench. I wish there was a way to set it up so I could live through that self-destruct, because that would be funny as hell. There he is! Oh, yeah! There's our Fossil Magmar. This thing is an absolute bitch to play against. This card makes my blood pressure rise. Because, first of all, it has that Sandshrews fucking sand attack, but on more HP, and it's a fire type. Plus, if you feel like you can give it a second fire energy and you get a little more damage, but more importantly, you also have a chance to land poison. It ain't nice. Here's the other Ghastly, the better Ghastly, I think. Flip a coin to paralyze off that Lick attack. And you can deal 10 damage to yourself to put 2 energy cards out of your discard back into your hand. That's kind of nice. Maintenance! Shuffle 2 of your other cards from your hand into your deck in order to draw a card. That is so weird. I don't think there's any actual use case for maintenance. It seems so weak. Then Spearow has Peck, Mirror Move. Pretty simple. We've seen that Ekans before. Onyx. Horsey. Oh god, it's another one of these moves. Ew. Slowpoke, look at how distant it is. Flip a coin. If heads, remove a damage counter from Slowpoke. This attack can't be used if Slowpoke is no damage counter. Yeah. Scavenge. Discard 1 energy. Put a trainer card from your discard into your hand. That's kind of neat. And then the Zubat that we've seen already. What else do we got? Muck. Oh, this Muck is very annoying. Ignore all Pokemon powers other than toxic gases. Yep. This is a control card that can be really irritating to deal with. You just sit this thing on the bench and you put your actual good Pokemon up front. But oh boy, if an opponent is relying on Pokemon powers in any way, this will break their legs entirely. It can also do a 30 damage attack that can poison the opponent. Whatever. Golbat. We didn't see all of what this does. He got Wing Attack and Leech Life. Horsey. Doduo! I do love Doduo, but this card is not great. Fury Attack. It's just a flip 2 coins. 10x. Magnemite. Your Magnetic Storm does something. Remove all energy cards attached to all of your Pokemon, then randomly reattach each of them. That's so awful. Like, why would you do that? I guess they literally designed it as, like, can we actually do this? And they found out, yes. And then, why the fuck would you play that? Venonat has some pretty basic attacks. 40 HP. I thought it had more for some reason. And lastly, here's Psyduck with a very brown bill. Got headache. Opponents can't play trainer cards during his or her next turn. Psyduck just gives you a migraine. Oh, that's Psyduck. What an incredibly funny critter that thing is. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to save. There's quite a few things to the Psychic Club that will give us a bad time. We can try to go fight Rick and see if he's actually someone we can take down. Let's see what you've got going on here, buddy. Hey, different battle theme. Nice. I don't really like my start here, but we're going for it anyway. Yeah, we're on the defense a little bit here. He's got this Grimer. It's got a nice whole, like, scene for a piece of art there. Oh, we got paralyzed. Boo. At least that seems to be all that does, but... What else does your Pokemon do? It can use Minimize. Oh, it only reduces damage a little bit. It's not a... completely prevent you from doing anything. This Mewtwo, this is the base set one. This one is not a super impressive one, I don't think. Deals 10 damage plus 10 for each energy card attached to the defending Pokemon. That's potentially pretty strong. Barrier allows you to discard a Psychic Energy to protect yourself from attacks next turn. Nice. Let's go find that Nidorino. And pass turn. Damn it! Remember to place that correctly, because those characters in the font are so similar to each other that it's not a great choice. Thank goodness, this time we don't get paralyzed, so we're either drawing an extra card next turn, or we're going to go in for some actual damage. And it looks like we're just drawing a card. We've been landing so many of the paralysis guy. It's starting to bother me a little bit. But we are prepped for when eventually, inevitably, it's time to do that. Fuck! Why? There we go. Finally, we get a chance to actually do something. Incredibly annoying. On the other hand, die! Just absolutely, completely annihilated. Kangaskhan doing what it does best. Ending lives. I'm not sure it's worth it to try to energy removal that, just because that doesn't seem all that serious of a thing to dump that much resource into. Yeah, see, that fast mashing seems to work really well. And again, Kangaskhan murders another random pile of sludge. As one sometimes does, I suppose. Oh, that's annoying. No, we haven't gotten a Nidoking yet. Alright, so instead we will off one of the energy from the muck. And I'm going to take a look at my field real quick. I have Nidorino female, and that is about it. I'll play the Caterpie. I'll play the Tangela, too, and I will put an energy on the Tangela, I guess. I'm not interested in gambling right now with the other one, so I'm just going to do that, and hope he doesn't re-energize the Muck. Yeah, I know he ran, and he's doing this instead. Jeez, yeah, that's a problem, to put it nicely. So yeah, never mind. Maybe that Mewtwo is actually kind of good. Damn it. Real hopeful. That's better. Land our paralysis and we can make some better progress here. Excuse me. Good. See, now we're getting the good flips here. And this guy's just kind of stuck, holding his, you know. Yeah! Got amazing paralysis RNG there. He's going to sort the top 5 of his deck. And his Mewtwo is toast. Give me something good out of here. Nah, it's grass energy. That's got its uses, though, but... yeah, there's no good outcome for that, so... what do you expect me to say? That coughing is actually a really irritating card, for several reasons. We're gonna put another energy on the Caterpie, because we're just sort of prepping for the possibility of it becoming a Metapod, or possibly even Butterfree. Unfortunately, that paralysis doesn't matter a ton. I suppose I could have retreated to, like, purge it, but this is fine. It does, however, mean that we don't get hit by a status effect this turn. Not right away, anyway. Alright, come on, land the poison, actually. No, we got confused, which... on paper, that's like, hey, you don't take as much damage, but also there's the possibility of us failing attacks now, which is... kind of not what we want. Yeah, see? We don't want to deal with that. The poison would have gotten us the same result. We would have actually killed the thing, so... yeah, now we have to deal with the fact that we're still confused. And now we're also poisoned. Which is not how I want this to go. So... hold up. Check my field real quick. I'll play that. I'll dump the grass energy and... oh, Fuck off! I forgot about that bullshit. Ugh. Confusion sucks such... Oh my god, I did something dumb. Anyway, this is why I just wanted to just get poisoned that time, because I could put up with that. The confusion, though? Like, that's the worst thing since the last thing that I called the worst thing. Be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to win anyway. Does it have to be such a really shitty way for us to not win? Yeah, we take damage. Where's my... No! Fuck. I'm putting this thing out front. Instead, because it doesn't really matter too much either way. Plus, I can use this to kind of sandbag for a couple of turns. While I continue to draw absolutely nothing, because I'm quite sure that all of my good cards are currently sitting in my prize pool. Because they would be. And yeah, he gets this done, and that could be good, assuming that we don't get poisoned here, which, well... Let's be honest with ourselves, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So, again, I wasn't expecting to win, but it got close enough that it feels real bad. It is very strange, by the way, though, the fact that they use the full-width font for your player name, and then that half-width font for everything else. That is a very bizarre choice. Kinda don't know what the deal is with that, but hey. Take those out, make that little adjustment, save the deck, and I will be right back, everybody. Okay, I'm back, and I have no idea who has, like, any of the cards that we want, so that's gonna be real fun. Where do I go if I want to build any, like, decent deck? Let's try this place. Nice little fish icon on the floor there. Yes, there are indeed many different types of water Pokemon. In fact, water, I think, is the most numerous Pokemon type out of all of them. If I find her a Lapras, huh? All she does is sleep. Well, put her on a bunch of caffeine and it'll be fine, I'm sure. Probably. Maybe not. Don't do that. That seems unhealthy. Let's take a little browse around here. I like how well decorated these areas are. In the various clubs here. Not really the start that we want, other than the... But I mean, that obviously is not good either, but hey. Nice. That helps. Grab one of those, and... Nice. Excellent. Getting those pretty well. And thankfully, we don't have to worry about landing too many attacks here in general. Knocking out too many Pokemon. It's Bill. Bill! 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 Draw a bunch of energy. Wow. This is... We're getting a lot of those, just... Dang. Ah, crud. Oh, I was really hoping for pulling the Flareon, because we could have ended the game there. Alright, it's time to go gambling. Yes! Finally, not an aw dang it. least there wasn't like a super important card in our prize pool. Because that would suck if there was. And we get the Coliseum pack. What have we got in here? We got a lot of stuff we've seen before. We haven't gotten a chance to fully read that Raticate yet. But let's take a look first at the Gyarados. 50 damage, Dragon Rage. I mean, that's quite fitting for the fact that you've got to basically be playing pure blue for this. And that Bubble Beam is pretty strong if you really want to gamble on Paralysis. Unfortunately, we don't have any Magikarp to take advantage of this with, so rest and rip. And also, we're not looking to build so heavily into water. But hey, we've seen that Seaking, we've seen that Nidorino. Raticate, and its second attack is Super Fang. Does damage to the defending Pokemon equal to half the defending Pokemon's remaining HP, rounded up to the nearest 10, as you would expect from Super Fang. God, I love Super Fang. Unfortunately, I don't think Raticate is a good user of it. Abra. It's got basically nothing, but it can paralyze you. It's better than using one in a regular Pokemon game, that's for sure. And yeah, Ponyta is just a not useful attack and an attack that's 30 damage for 2 energy. Pikachu! This one's not as cool as the other one, but it is definitely a lot fatter, and we appreciate that around here. We do love the fat Pikachu, and fortunately this one can hurt itself. Buddy, you don't gotta do that. What's our other pack? Pinsir! Yo! One of the almost coolest Pokemon in Gen 1. Flip a coin. If heads, the defending Pokemon is now paralyzed. Fair enough. And Guillotine. 4 energy, but it's 50 damage. And you can DCE to get to the capper there. Pinsir might very well have Pride of Place in this deck. Full Heal, Seal, Eradicate. Bunch of guys that we've seen before. Nothing new. Oh well. Yeah, let's go in here. Let's get that Pinsir going. No, he's got to be further down the line, right? Yeah. We've probably got too many energy cards in here, really, but... energy cards, too many, trainer cards. I was like, effect cards? That's not correct. But hey. Pinsir in the deck, and we are off to the races here. And she's got nothing. Take a look at what we've got here. Oh, we have a very well-loaded hand, but we have no energy. Fuck my life, dude. Okay, Kangaskhan, get out in front, and everybody else, get in. Dang, we're gonna be starting from a minor disadvantage there. Oh boy, Scyther. See, this is one of the problems that I find with the Pokemon trading card game on the whole. Just as like a mechanical entity here. That it has this problem of basically having two sort of basic land style cards. Now hold up. Check the opposing play area here. blah. If it's knocked out, it doesn't count as knocked Pokemon. Okay, yeah, so it's just Mysterious Fossil, but with more steps. Or fewer steps, as the case may be. But, like, yeah, you need the basic Pokemon in order to proceed, and you also need basic energy in order to be able to do any attacks. Or energy cards, period, really, but you know what I'm saying. And I don't like that very much. God damn it, of course. Just immediately drawing into the energy card to go for the big hit. So our Kangaskhan is only almost dead. Only mostly dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. Or something. I don't remember any of the lines from Princess Bride, basically. This is actually, I think, the shittiest draw we've ever had. Which is saying quite a bit, because, oh boy. Some of the things that I've had to deal with in this game. You're fucking shitting me, dude. Like, you are completely out to lunch here. And then you give me the wrong goddamn energy. This is almost... This thing is trying to piss me off, I think. That was not fair at all. You see what I mean, though? Like, sometimes you just get completely boned because there is multiple lanes of resources here, and you can get mana screwed twice. Which is awesome, and not at all stupid. It is, however, very funny to say. So, credit where it's due, I suppose. That's a noise. As you've probably noticed. Alright, let's draw two. And check the opponent's field. We got a Poliwag and we got a Scyther. Dang it! The mashing didn't serve me well enough this time. Yeah, enjoy all of your Pokemon that are not as good as you'd want them to be, really. Oh no, Tangela's our other basic, and is the only one we've got right now, so... Instead, let's go and... Yeah, let's pick up Pinsir. I mean, truth be told, we probably should have gone with Bulbasaur, I guess, but... I'm sure this will work out for us, and in no way will it become a problem later. Excellent, we got ourselves another green energy here, so we're good with that. That's great. So this is where we get an interesting bit of strategy added to this deck, because thanks to the fact that her next Pokemon up is Poliwag, we have to think a little bit about how and when and where, and why for that matter, to use the evolution card and upgrade to Flareon. And the correct timing is probably going to be now. I mean, we are probably about to get kicked in the balls for this, but because surely she's sitting on a DCE to turn Scyther into a slash machine and then just kick us out, but... Well, she was sitting on a DCE, apparently, or she just drew it. Ooh, that's what you're doing. Okay. I forgot that that was that card. Alright, double check that that can be any energy type. And do you have something that just gets 8 by this? Shockingly enough, no. I can play Bulbasaur, and I can just do this instead, and... Yeah, I mean, she's not going to get a kill on this turn. That would be... If she did, she'd have to have been sitting on a lot of cards. And it's certainly not enough cards, that's for sure. But just to absolutely rub salt in the wound here... Excellent. Ah, yes. I do love the guillotine. We're big fans of guillotines around here. Alright, give me your booster packs. Hey, another Nidoqueen. Nice. Unfortunately, we do still only have the one Nidorino, so it could be a lot better, but we'll take it anyway. And we get another Jolteon. I think... Honestly, I think we could probably swap out the Flareons for Jolteons for this place. And if I was thinking a little bit more, I would have done that much sooner. Ooh, hello, Mew. That's right, this is the one from the Fossil set. Does 10 damage times the number of energy cards attached to the defending Pokemon, unlike Psychic, which is 10 plus. And De-Evolution Beam. Choose an evolved Pokemon, your own or your opponent's. Return the highest stage evolution card on that Pokemon to its player's hand. So I would assume that that prevents it from being replayed immediately the next turn. Otherwise, in order to actually put that to good use, you have to do some interesting tricks with that. But I could be quite wrong about that, so don't take my word for it. Nevertheless, can we fight this guy now? And yeah, let's see what this dork ass has going for him. Yeah, we drew a Meowth. Interesting. Well, on the bench you go, buddy, because I do not recall if this thing is good. It's got Water Gun, it's got Confuse Ray. Oh. I'm not feeling the most confident about my current lead right now, so... we'll do this. We'll Gust of Wind away the big Pokemon, and off we go. Yeah, and this guy's just gonna go look for some more crabs. Well, that'll be useful in order to stem the tide of the crab tide here. Oh, you schmuck. Of course you would do that. Do I have another grass energy? Yes, I do! I don't even have to look at the rest of my hand. Hell yeah. Alright, now don't do that again, you cock. Or first introduce the rest of your, any other anatomical object. You croc. Nice. Ah, I was hoping for something good. Oh well. There we go. We got Khan. We got the Conatar here, and oh, I didn't even see that he took my DCE. You. I don't really care about that Caterpie. Plus, we're about to Professor Oak away our Butterfree, so, like, big whoop, right? How bad is our hand now? It's playable, but doesn't do what I want it to. Excuse me. Nice. And yeah, here comes the big nasty. Oh, and he played another one too. Rough. Okay, good. We have the resources to get into a position where I can just start tearing this guy apart with the other attack. I just wish I could land the goddamn paralysis, though. Apparently I'm not allowed to have fun. Not in that regard, anyway. Fuck! I hate getting hit by confusion. Well. God damn it! I'm getting all the, like, bad luck now. Fuck. Oh. Oops. Caught my finger on the pop filter a little bit there. Oops. It's a special level of idiot that I am at times. So are there... It's a Meowth, right? Okay, we want to try and set this thing up, because it is a damage dealer of great power. Yes! Good. Good, 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 good. I was going to be really unhappy if I only got the one head there. And he's got a Kingler that I don't know if it can do anything yet. No, it looks like not. Okay. Well, at least we landed one head. One heads. And he hit us with the old, I think that was Stomp, even, not Crab Hammer. Because the other one's Crab Hammer. Yes! Good, good, good. Good, let's not draw this out any further. And there's our energy removal that would have been potentially pretty handy earlier, but hey. Give me your booster packs. Never mind. Take them back. I don't want these anymore. Another one of this piece of shit Kabutops. And we got Farfetch'd. It's very interesting. You can only use this first attack once, but it also has a chance to fail. And then Pot Smash, the other one. Huh? Was somebody smashed on Pot when they decided to make that the attack choice? I actually want to go look that card up on Bulbapedia real quick and see what the deal is with it. Because that's a weird choice. But yeah, it's just a fairly generic... His Farfetch'd card is as underwhelming as Farfetch'd is in the regular game. Maybe even more so. I don't know, I have kind of a soft spot for Farfetch'd, even though it's, like, honestly kind of a piece of shit. I just sort of appreciate it on a certain level. Just because it's like, I kind of root for the underdogs a little bit. Maybe overmuch, but still. Eesh. Wait, what are you telling me? Hit with Saucepan. I mean, okay. Like, it fits around the theming around Farfetch'd, but... Why is it... Huh. What an incredibly odd choice. Give it a move in the actual games that lets it beat people with a pan. Game Freak, come on. You fucking cowards. You cowards. You hate fun, don't you? Anyway. Pokemon Center. Remove all damage counters from all of your own Pokemon with damage counters on them. Then discard all energy cards attached to those Pokemon. That's the downside here, and it's pretty rough. I don't find this card to be very good as a consequence. Here's the GB Vaporeon. Pretty simple. Again, kind of just blue Scyther, but I would use that. And then these are all cards we've seen before. And let's see what we get here. Hey, another Nido. Wow, this pack is just shitting those out uncontrollably. Unfortunately, it is not doing the same for Nidorino, which we kind of need some more of. Omastar! Hey, dude. You're statted to like a stage 1 Pokemon, because of course you are. You've got Water Gun, and Spike Cannon is a 30x with 2 coin flips. Wow. Another DCE, though. That's pretty handy. Oh, hey, this pack does have Ammonite to go with Omastar, so that's pretty fun. She just warps over the side. Let's give it a shot. Again, I'm not expecting to win here, but let's see if we can pull this off. Yeah, of course it is. I'm not surprised. And if we lose this, I kind of may have to just start looking up where any of the relevant cards for our deck are. Just to be able to have a chance of actually building something, because otherwise I would be pretty lost. Okay, good. She put an energy on something else instead of that fella. Pretty good. Yeah, and eventually you're gonna have the energy, right? We get to deal with that attack. What else do you have going? You've got two Squirtles. Damn. It's alright. Evolution should fix that, right? I think that's how that works. We have that going for us. Play our Seal. And yeah, now we should be able to do something. Should be able to become somewhat of a damage engine here. I'm not going to expect perfection, but I'll certainly hope for it anyway. Damn. Yeah, paralyzed. I cannot remember what Nidoqueen does in terms of attacks, other than the first one, which I remember because it's funny to me. Yeah, we can't attack, so we just end turn. Yes, good. Honestly, it's probably not even worth using that most of the time. What else do we have in there? We got 2 Nidorino male, so I probably don't need to do that, honestly, but hey. Dang. No insta-kill for me. Oh, and we get paralyzed again. Because, of course, our opponents are not beholden to the same sort of mashing and timing thing as we are. So it is pure RNG for them. We can't manipulate their coins. Which is a real shame. But hey. And we drew that Eevee. Thing's theoretically kind of useful. Oh, well, that's okay. We can just use that full heal and at least squeeze a little bit more damage out of this Nidorino. It's probably not going to get us to an actual kill shot here, but maybe if we manage to mash these properly. Yes! Very good. We now have a significant lead. Unfortunately, she did have an energy on the Squirtle already, so no more free ride for us. Play the con, and we will fail to use the basically Gen 1 Rock Throw. Because for those of you who forgot, In the Gen 1 games, Rock Throw was 60% accuracy for some reason. You have going on? Oh yeah, you've got a Sea King and a Goldeen. Okay, well, nothing to do this turn. Shit. Well, we drew another energy at least, so that's nice. Oh, right. Whoops. Let's start giving Kangaskhan the hookup, and again, keep eating paralysis just constantly. I don't get to do anything because I don't deserve to. Literally don't get to do anything because I don't fucking deserve to. I don't get my good Pokemon. Instead, I just have to sit here and be like, hey, I've got Kangaskhan, and that might eventually be a payoff if I don't keep drawing shit like Caterpie. Ultimately, I should probably have tried to... Oh yes, very funny game. Great time for that to show up. Whatever, I will play it anyway. Just draw me the fucking Duke. Yes! Good. I actually got it. I can't believe that worked. I managed to manifest it, I guess. Somehow. Well. Do the evolution here. And take a look at... Well, yeah, 50 damage. Take a look at the opponent's Pokemon. No, I don't care about the Wartortle. I already know what that thing is. It's annoying is what it is. So... Alright, come on. Draw me something else good that I can use to, like, be a bit of an extender here. Because I'm gonna need to be able to keep doing stuff very soon here. Yeah, let's just go for the Aurora Beam a couple of times. I mean, the downside here is I do need to take a quick look at this thing. Okay, the most it can do is 30 damage, because Sea King is about as good in the card game as it is in the real game. So we're basically safe. Even if she sends that out, I can just forcibly put Goldeen out and make that be the thing that has to get absolutely annihilated. Oh, shit. Well, I guess you're not going to be any use whatsoever, Dugong. I should have realized, because I'm pretty sure I saw those in the actual set of things that were in her hand at the start of the game. Well, that's okay. We can make this work. It's just... It's not going to be quite as pretty as before, which, to be fair, is not really saying a whole lot. Hey, what's up, Pinsir? Play that, and... Gust of Wind to blow in the Squirtle. And then it's clobbering time. Get that thing out of here. And we drew Flareon. Unfortunately, I don't really have enough time to set that up, but on paper, that is kind of neat. Although I have that Eevee on the field. Oh yeah, let's remember to plus power here. Because we're operating on a bit of hope here. Damn it. Not quite as good as I was really hoping, but hey. Alright, there's one thing that could really fix this for us, which is if we drew into a DCE, which I think we may have used all of ours already. Or if we just pull off the coin flips. That's... Yes! We did it! And that, everybody, that is our first medal in the bag. Extremely tight margin there, but our deck is kind of garbage, so... Honestly, the fact that we got anywhere with that, anywhere near that, is kind of impressive. But let's see what we pull from these packs. We got Muck, we've seen that already. Magmar, Seadra, she didn't get to pull this out. Got Water Gun, it's got Agility. We've seen those attacks before on different Pokemon. Weezing, I don't think we gave this a proper read. Smog, which is the same one that Magmar has. And Self-Destruct for 60, and 10 to the bench. Seen all of these. Oh, Recycle we haven't seen, yeah. Flip a coin if heads, put a card from your discard on top of your deck. It can kind of be alright. Gambler, shuffle your hand into your deck, flip a coin if heads, draw 8 cards, if tails, draw 1 card. Potentially fairly powerful, so I don't dislike that. Hypno, hooray! We can actually maybe use Drowsy if we decide to move to Psychic, which we probably won't. Prophecy, we can look at up to... We can rearrange the top 3 cards of either player's deck. That's pretty good. Meanwhile, Dark Mind. This is another... It looks like a fairly generic 30 damage, but it also does some damage to a benched Pokemon. Kinda nice. Ghastly, we've seen you. Marowak, we didn't get a good look at this. But we've seen Bone Meringue plenty, and we got fucked by it because of bad luck. Call for Friend, meanwhile. Search your deck for a fighting basic Pokemon and put it onto the bench. Yep. Golduck. Wow, already finding that. Psyshock, that's the same one that Abra had. 70 HP is pretty good, too. Hyper Beam. Oh my god, yeah, it's only 20 damage for 3 energy, but for good reason. If the defending Pokemon has any energy cards attached to it, choose one of them and discard it. Yeah, you can screw somebody over so badly with that if their luck isn't good enough. Zubat, Gambler, it's Tentacool. Oh, that is actually the... That art doesn't look familiar, but hey. Cowardice. That wasn't cowardice! At any time during your turn before you attack, you may return Tentacool to your hand, discard all cards attached to it. Unfortunately, you lose the energy, but hey. And the rest of this is all stuff we've seen already. So, hey. And then she just snaps back into the position on the chair. Well, I wasn't expecting us to get one of our badges this early. But we did it anyway. But it's been about 3 hours, so that'll do for us to pack it in, everybody. Next time. Next time.